It's Mike's Review Corner. He's here to review a bunch of games for you.
Okay, so this one's for a game called Yatagarasu, Attack on Cataclysm. I remember backing this in crowdfunding. My first thought was, wow, it looks like those fighters I love to play. And that's pretty much sums up what you'll get with it. It's nothing more than a fighter that you love to play. It's just another fighting game that gets lost in the stack of been there, done that. You aren't getting anything you haven't played before. So what will come down to? The characters. Usually with every fighting game, I can find a main character to use and a backup character. That way I don't feel like I'm doing the same thing every time. This one, though, I barely found one I enjoyed using. It is not so much that the characters fail to stand out as interesting, because that is what happens, is that they all play in a non-interesting way. So not being able to change up my playstyle makes me grow bored fast, especially when my main is not really fun to begin with. Plus, I think it is a voice pack. It adds easily the worst announcer in any fighting game on top of the normal announcer's voice, so you get both at the same time, and a mess of voices from people I don't care to hear or even see. It makes no sense but to destroy the game. Really, play this on mute if you decide to play it. You're welcome for that piece of advice, by the way. But I guess all this doesn't matter. Even the devs abandoned this game. Unless you need another fighter because you are the best in the world and have sunk too many hours into every other one out there, then you're not missing anything by skipping it. I paid $10 for this. Don't make the same mistake I did. This is a review for Yatagarasu, Enter the Eastward. First off, Yatagarasu is a dinosaur. But it isn't a problem for me. I love old school fighters. Heck, a couple of my favorite fighters of all time are Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Samurai Showdown 4. Here is the big problem with it. This is not a sequel. This is version 1.1, or maybe 1.01 would be more accurate. I backed Attack on Cataclysm way back in the day. That was like 10 years ago. And the game has not really advanced in that time other than a few new characters. That is it. It's been 10 years, and seeing the game return gave me hope that there would have been some sort of changes to make it better, but instead it's still the same game you may have, but probably didn't, play and forgotten you had. Really, the game is so boldly generic that it should be on PlayStation, and I mean the first PlayStation, not 5. And here's the best advice I can give you. First thing you'll want to do after booting up the game is to 1, go straight to the options, 2, find the commentary master volume, 3, and set it to 0. I didn't like the commentary in the first, and I'm not doing it in this one either. Thankfully, it has that option, because if not, I was ready to unplug my speakers and play the game in silence. I'm still stuck seeing their faces appear every time they have to say something, but there's something much worse. This version now does screenshots of when there is a counter or something big happens. It then pastes the thumbnail of those screenshots in the top middle of the screen for around 5 seconds during the match and in the way. Ever tried playing a fighting game with a window over your game window? Well, now you can anytime something big happens. I'm not going to lie, this game is about 20 years behind when it should have been released. Now it's 100% guaranteed to be dead on arrival. If you have never played a Yatagarasu game, then this is already $5 overpriced for you. If you have, then it's $15 overpriced for you. If you want old school, you can pick up King of Fighters 98 for the same price. It's a far better experience. Edit for Steam Deck users, don't bother. The game is borked when you go into full screen. I've tried just booting GE and experimental, and everything goes to black screen when you change the resolution to full screen. You can play in the window though, like 640 by 480 window, since there is no option to change the window size. You can't resize it yourself, if that sounds fun. Honestly, this might have worked better if it was a $5 Decade Pass 1 DLC. At least there would be no delusions about what you're getting. But instead, Yatagarasu, Enter the Eastward, exit the series. Mike's Review Corner, and you're in luck. You just heard reviews of games that suck.